I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of September 30th, 2015. Man, October is almost upon us. It'll be here tomorrow. By the time you see this, October will be here. And thank goodness, because September was such a dry spell for comics. Not a whole lot going on this week, but you should still commit, because there is some cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, one of my favorites this week was Captain America White, issue number 2 by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Cover drawn in 2008, issue in my hands in 2015. So this continues the letter to Bucky that Cap is writing before Bucky came back from the dead, or maybe he's narrating it, I don't know. He's narrating the story. And it takes place during World War II, 1941, Cap, Bucky, Nick Fury, and the Howling Commandos. Special appearance by another Marvel superhero that was hanging around in World War II times.
Which is a list of like 4.
Perhaps the original Marvel superhero. One of the original Marvel superheroes. Just a great story. I mean, this is a joy to read. It's fun. It's action-packed. It's got emotion. It's got a great cast of characters. Thumbs up. Top-notch stuff. I don't know why it took 7 years to produce, but it's worth it.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Question you may not know the answer to. There's multiple references in here to s'mores.
I don't know if s'mores existed.
They existed, I think, but I'm wondering about their cultural penetration that, like, all the Howling Commandos and everybody knew. Like, when you say s'mores, they immediately knew. Yet somehow, 20 years later, when the Sandlot happens, the kids have not, only some of the kids hadn't heard of s'mores.
That is not the same universe.
The Sandlot is not in the Marvel
Universe? The
Universe?
Sandlot does not take place.
I've just been assuming that James Earl Jones was actually the original Captain America in that movie.
Yes.
I think that was...
The Sandlot exists in its own universe.
Okay.
In its own sandbox.
So, and that's not the same universe as Stand By Me. They're all different. Okay.
I think so, yes. Okay. Each is a pocket universe.
That's Marvel 718 or something. All right, my first pick this week, actually my pick of the week, is the long-awaited conclusion to Sandman Overture. Sandman Overture number 6, written by Neil Gaiman, with art by J.H. Williams and colors by Dave Stewart.
Of the Eurythmics.
Of the Eurythmics, one assumes.
Not really, but...
I have talked till I'm blue in the face about Sandman and how much I love it, how awesome it is, but this issue especially struck me as worthy of pointing out again. J.H. Williams is not a huge artist as far as popularity goes, but the work he does in here is amazing, because the essential plot of the book is a bunch of different versions of Morpheus, of Dream, of Sandman, the main character, are teaming up together to save the universe. So you have sequences where Neil Gaiman's like, I need you to draw an entire 2-page spread full of Morpheuses. They all have to be different, but they all have to be identifiable as Morpheus. And they all have to have different elements and stuff. And he mixes styles seamlessly. I'm trying to find one of the really awesome spreads, which you won't be able to see. But
if you buy the book.
Oh, you should totally buy the book. I mean, look at all the different styles, the ink changes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this has got to
win
something from an art standpoint at the Eisners.
I'm pretty sure that's Morpheus and Brainiac, actually.
No, not It's not Morpheus. It's
the vampire.
Morbius.
Morbius, sorry.
Yeah. Morpheus, yeah. Morbius.
It's Morbius. That's from Sandman.
Yes. Morpheus.
So Williams is really bringing his A game. I sort of understand why the book took forever to come out, because this is very intricate. Every page has a lot going on. And of course, Neil Gaiman's prose is so awesome that I'm going to read a section of it here to you now. One day, perhaps, when we will have become legends, we will pass this way outside of space or time, when what they'll know of us will be just questions. They'll carve our deeds in stone, build us in rhyme. The things they tell about us will be lies, but lies of such a kind as tell a truth, perpetual. Our lives will be revised, preserved. We'll mouth the epics of our youth. Actors will play us braver than we are, more funny, deeper, prettier by far. Their lines will be more resonant and wise than anything we said, majestic lies. So wait, such tales might be truth one day, for now alive we huddle, ache, and pray. This is not a particularly important or significant passage. This is a book that just randomly breaks into poetry and prose, and it's just awesome. There's nothing like Sandman. It's art on a level that most other books don't even aspire to.
And most human beings can't comprehend.
That's fun too.
If
Maybe
you
it's
would
not
like
for
to,
you.
when the trade comes out, if you would like to hear Josh read the entire story, we'll have that here at the shop.
I do voices.
We'll take a whole day where Josh will read from Sandman Overture, not selections, the whole thing.
The whole thing, just straight through.
Yes.
There might be puppets. I don't know.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, you should do a Morpheus puppet. You have one already, don't you?
Maybe.
All right. Next up for me, and I really enjoy this. Josh doesn't like this, and I don't know why, but it
What
just
don't I
doesn't
like?
work. The Justice League.
It's not that I don't like
Jeff
it.
Johns' Justice League.
It's
Issue
great.
number 44, Dark Side War, Part 4. Artwork by Jason Fabak, Shalmasel. I'll figure that out sooner or later. I love this guy's artwork. Jeff Johns is always a joy to read, and a lot of stuff happens here. Don't turn to the last page. Serious stuff goes down. Yeah, someone perhaps has been taken off the chessboard in the DC universe, so I'm not going to say who it is. Because
Oh, you're
you should
talking about,
check it
okay, yeah, so more than one important thing happens then.
There's more
I was
than
thinking
one.
of something else.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll have to talk about this later
Yeah.
off camera, but
No
a
spoilers.
lot happens, and it's just so good. Justice League, in my opinion, is the flagship title of DC Comics. That could be argued that Batman is the flagship title of DC Comics, but both of them have been consistently strong from the beginning of the relaunch 4 years ago?
It's 4 years this September because we're on issue 44.
Yeah, well, that's right. Everything else is on.
But there were skips, so.
Yeah. Just get it. If you're looking for one of the best DC comics being published, this is it. Justice League number 44.
I could give about this much of a crap about everything Jack Kirby created for DC, but for some reason, when Jeff Johns writes it and puts it in with the Justice League, I actually care about these characters. So
Yes.
yeah, no, it's good.
So much happens in this book.
So many things, so much to tell. Next up, all right, so this is the 5th Wednesday of the month, and when that happens, DC likes to flood us with annuals. I think DC put out more annuals this week than Marvel did regular books. But first up, we've got the Green Lantern Annual number 4. It's set in the present continuity of the book, but it does have a flashback story to just after Hal got the gauntlet and some of his interactions with the Green Lantern Corps. I really like what Vendetti's doing with this arc. Hal Jordan as sort of a space rogue. Basically, it's Hal Jordan is Han Solo, except he has a magic Green Lantern fist that makes him super awesome. Great fun. Batman Annual number 4 is another story set. Well, this is the number of DC continuities is getting troublesome to me. So in Justice League, Batman has the Morpheus chair and knows everything. Morbius, sorry.
Get your mind off of
trouble
Morpheus.
with Morbius and Morpheus today. And which one was Lawrence Fishburne?
Morpheus.
Okay, cool. And in the Bat books, Bruce Wayne knows nothing. He's had brain damage and doesn't remember being Batman or anything, apparently. So this is a story of him reclaiming Wayne Manor after Arkham has relinquished it, and some holdovers from the Arkham era, who you may recognize from Batman's Rogues Gallery, going after him and toying with him. Quite good. And finally, I haven't been talking about Grayson at all, and it's been going on for a year now, give or take?
It's the second annual, so
yeah.
I don't know.
But the last couple issues have been great. This one is annual number 2. It's a team-up with the newly reduced-powered, outed to the public Superman and Dick Grayson's Super Spy. And it's great. It's got flashbacks to classic adventures with Dick and Bruce and...
Clark.
Superman. You know, that guy with the cape. What's his name? And it's so much fun. I really like the way Seeley writes Dick Grayson. It's just really relatable and awesome.
Cool. All right, next up for me is not a comic, but a book. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Demons of the Hellmouth, A Guide for Slayers by Rupert Giles. This is Giles, his handbook, his Demons of the Hellmouth, written by Giles himself, passed through many hands before it got to mine, has annotations, basically has pages about all of the demons that Buffy and the Scooby Gang encountered during the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, with annotations by Xander and Willow and other people.
Buffy,
Buffy,
for example.
yes. Super cool. It's put out by Titan Books. It's got a nice bookmark thing band here. The pages kind of look a little weathered. It's just awesome if you're a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan.
And it has a foreword by Anthony Stewart Head,
Yes,
the original
Giles himself. Forward by Anthony Stewart Head. Written by Nancy Holder, who is a longtime Buffy fan and author. She worked on Buffy, many book projects. I'm reading from the back now, can you tell? By Buffy. Many book projects of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, including Buffy the Making of a Slayer, Tales of the Slayer Volume 1, all kinds of stuff. Immortal, Halloween Rain, Purple Rain, no, Children of the Hunt, Ghost Roads,
Chocolate
and many
Rain?
others. Chocolate Rain, yes. What happened to that guy?
I don't know. Tezande.
So if you're local, you may have noticed we've been carrying a lot of kind of geek genre books here, and this is definitely one of them, and you should definitely check it out if you're a Buffy fan. Anything to add?
Absolutely. No.
You're a bigger Buffy
No,
fan
I actually
than
didn't
I
realize
am.
she had written one of the Tales of the Slayer stories, so that's awesome. I love that. That's one of my favorite Buffy omnibuy, or Buffy graphic novels.
So yeah, Buffy fans, seek it out.
Yes, very cool. Last up, we've got The Strange Girl Omnibus from Image. This is written by someone named Rick Remender, with art by Eric Wynn. And this is before Rick Remender was blowing the world up over at Marvel and writing, half their line. So
Publishing multiple series at Image.
Oh yeah, and he's got Deadly Class
Deadly
and
Class
Black
and-
Science. So imagine Left Behind, the Kirk Cameron or Nicolas Cage, as you prefer. That story, except told by the guy that came up with Deadly Class and Black Science. It's sort of a twisted version of the Rapture. This girl, we actually see the Rapture happen. At the beginning of the book, this girl's young. She's probably 10, maybe 12. And she goes home. She's missed family prayer time, and she's in trouble for that. And right as they're discussing it, the Rapture happens. All the good people get called up, and she's left alone in the world that's now been taken over by demons and fallen to the darkness. And despite that description, it's actually really funny and cool slice of life growing up stuff. So we jump ahead to 10 years later. She's got a kind of like a demon sidekick. They actually refer to, so the other demons refer to him as her pet. And she's learning magic, and she finds out, just as she has a falling out with one of the people she had arranged to kind of protect her, one of the lords of hell or whatnot, that there is one last gateway to heaven. There's a chance that she could get in if she finds this gateway and passes through it. And so it's essentially a road trip through the demonic apocalypse with her demon sidekick. And it's great. It's funny. It's poignant. It's, in my opinion, it's Rick Remender's most cohesive work from beginning to end. It reads the best.
And this is the whole thing.
This is the whole thing. One giant thing. This was originally in 4 volumes from Image. I don't even know how many issues it was. It was 20 or 30. And it is $25.99. It is a steel, full color, reasonably nice paper. Awesome deal. Hear that thump.
What a bargain. Oh, just a little commentary for me. I was at a retailer conference last week in Baltimore with tons of other comic store owners, and the mood there was very upbeat. Lots of positive things. All the publishers were there. Reps from Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, Boom, IDW, Dynamite, several others. And it's just a great time to be a comic fan. There's so much cool stuff that's coming out, that's out now. I mean, really, for the last several years, so much quality content and stuff that appeals to a wider base, to a wider audience. We're seeing new readers coming in, here and in shops across the country every day. Comics have, I think, seeped into the popular culture more so than ever before. Just take a look next time you're out grocery shopping or at the mall and see how many comic-related T-shirts you see people wearing. Not all of those people can be comic fans. Maybe they can be, but they're everywhere. It's all over the place. I mean, catalogs that you're getting from Kohl's and Target and Walmart, it's all promoting comic book characters and pop culture characters. So it's really a great time to be a comic fan. There's a lot of cool stuff coming our way through the end of 2015 and into 2016 as well. Including Dark Knight 3, the poorly named Master Race. which I was a little hesitant on, but I got to see some pages last week and got to understand the difference between the standard version of the comic and the collector's edition, which is going to be produced as 8 different oversized hardcover volumes that ship about 3 weeks after the regular edition. For more information, see one of us at the shop and we'll give you the details. But when the last issue ships, there'll be a slipcase that comes with it with Jim Lee artwork on it that will hold all of the oversized hardcovers that are 40 pages.
Yes. Oversized this way, not this
Tall,
way.
not thick. Yes. Star Trek celebrates their 50th anniversary next year. There's cool stuff going on with that. There's a new Starfleet Academy series coming from IDW, which explores the Abrams universe characters in Starfleet Academy. Marvel is just batting 1,000 with what they're doing. Their Star Wars books. They've got their first Star Wars crossover coming up called Vader Down, which is going to be a bookend kind of one shot. I don't know if there's a bookend at the end. What do you call a bookend?
They haven't solicited a second bookend yet, but if it's at the end, it may not be for another catalog yet.
So there'll be a standalone issue number 1, Vader Down, and then it bounces around through Star Wars and Darth Vader.
So we're not really going to refer to the first arc of those as crossovers, even though they literally crossed over.
Yeah. Just a lot of positive stuff, a lot of positive feedback. I was a little nervous that people were going to be kind of negative about just some retailer-centric things that I don't necessarily want to get into. But the general vibe there was upbeat and positive, and the publishers were great, and it was a great, battery recharger for me. So back in the shop, ready to sell some comics, ready to get people into comics, and hopefully you're loving the comic book industry as much as we are.
Also this week, Marvel did not put out a lot besides Captain America White, but what they did put out is second printings galore. So we now have all issues of Secret Wars back on the shelf, all issues of Old Man Logan back on the shelf, and that will get you amped up for, I believe, the 7th next week.
I think
should be Secret Wars 6.
Next week is going to be a killer week.
Yeah.
It may bankrupt all of us. So be prepared. We've had a couple weeks of a couple light weeks, and now the floodgates will open next week. Finally, if you're in the area, or even if you're remotely in the area, plan on being here Wednesday, October 7th, to meet New York Times bestselling author.
Is that next Wednesday?
It's next Wednesday.
The floodgates.
Yes. Big comic shipping day, big comic writer at the shop. Gene Luen Yang, New York Times bestselling author, Eisner Award winner for his creator-owned book American Born Chinese back in 2006, named Best Writer this year at the Eisners. Currently writing Superman. He's writing Avatar: The Last Airbender for Dark Horse. The newest volume of that is now available as well. And he's got a new creator-owned book called Secret Coders, which we'll have in stock as well, about middle school students and computer coding. It's kind of a Harry Potter-esque, but with computer coding.
Yeah, it actually teaches kids to code. It's very cool.
So he's going to actually be visiting a local school that day, and then he'll be here from 3 until 5. And then we have a teacher's night event from 6:30 until 8. So if you're an educator, come on out during that 6:30 to 8 time period, and Gene will be talking about comics in the classroom. He's also a teacher, so his experience with creating comics for his students, as well as using comic-based material in the classroom. So we're super excited to welcome Gene Yang to Lima on October 7th, and we hope that you'll be here to welcome him as well. Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. So some of you responded that you want us to do a Periscope somewhere down the road. We're trying to figure out the best time to do that. I know some of you threw out some times, but keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're not following us on Twitter, please do. It's at Alter Ego Comics, because that's how Periscope will reach you. Periscope is owned by Twitter, and they're kind of linked. So make sure to follow us at Alter Ego Comics on Twitter so that you're aware of our scopes. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like the episode. We'll see you next week.